Well, the Mets have come to the desert and found the oasis of hitting, and lots of it. The bats have come alive in this series. They've taken 2 of 3 in Arizona. Downtown Phoenix, Chase Field to site as the Mets go for the sweep today. From Chase Field in Phoenix, it's the Mets and the Diamondbacks this afternoon. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the broadcast. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Gary Coe and Keith Hernandez will be along in just a few minutes. So here are the Mets trying to polish off a 9-game homestand and go home with a 6-3 record, trying to sweep the Diamondbacks today, and the offense is really coming alive. Nothing more evident than last night's 9-0 rout of Arizona, and they got a big boost from a new man, well, really not a new man, an old face, but Kirk Nieuwenhuis, called up because of the injury to Juan Lagares, and Nieuwenhuis was simply outstanding in his debut this season yesterday. How about 3 hits for Nieuwenhuis inserted in the lineup? This one, the big one, though, a 2-run home run. Nieuwenhuis went on to drive in 3 in the Mets offense, and we know he can play D. Great catch as well. He had another good catch in there, too. So a great debut for Nieuwenhuis, filling in admirably for Juan Lagares, who went on the 15-day DL. So now the Mets would like to get a good note today from their starting pitcher. That's Dylan G. Dylan hasn't been awful this year, but he hasn't been quite right, too, and he's been bitten late by the home runs late in his starts. He's already allowed 5 home runs in his 3 starts this year. In the last 2 starts, home runs late in those starts. Last time against Anaheim, it was a 2-run shot by J.B. Shuck that kind of did him in. He's looking to do a little bit better in that note today. Meanwhile, it's Brandon McCarthy getting the call for Arizona. He's 0-2 so far with an ERA that's approaching 8. He's let up 5 runs, at least 5 runs in all 3 of his starts. So McCarthy looking to get back on track for this Arizona starting staff, which has been just deplorable to start the season so far. Meanwhile, the Mets have gotten some good contributions this trip from the bullpen. Looking to get Scott Rice going, though. I'll chat with the Mets lefty reliever when we come back. Mets going for the sweep in Arizona. First pitch is coming up. Monday 100,000 Reasons event now through April 30th. By Optimum, presenting Mets games in crystal clear HD. And by State Farm. Tonight's State Farm agent of the day is Gil Walton of the Bronx. Contact Gil's office at gilwalton.net. You can follow every Mets game with MLB.com at bat for your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv, game of the day, and more. That's enough. Download on the App Store or visit Mets.com today. Well, Scott Rice looking to find his form that he had last year for Terry Collins. And yesterday I caught up with the Mets lefty reliever.
Scott, you come off a good spring for you, and I know it's only 6 appearances, but you're not where you want to be. What have you identified as needing to be fixed for you early on?
I need to get ahead of the hitters. I need to go out there and throw my pitches. I feel like I'm just not attacking as I was last year, and I'm working on it, looking at video with Dan and with Terry, and we're going to figure it out, and we're going to turn it around.
What have you noticed on the video? Anything in particular?
My slider and splitty aren't working the way they have been, and honestly, I haven't been getting ahead. I haven't been getting the extension which I had before, and we're going to get there.
What is the beginning of the season like? I mean, whether you're a hitter or you're a pitcher. I mean, we saw yesterday with Duda. Duda was hitting what, in the low 2s. He has 4 hits, and all of a sudden he's over 300. What is that pressure of beginning the season like, whether you're a hitter or a pitcher, and just having a couple good outings to kind of get going?
I think you always want to start off hot, especially as a younger player. As you get older, you start to realize that it's a long season, and the beginning is just a small sample size, so the numbers can look really, really good or really bad. So, for me, I'm going out there trying to induce soft contact, and every hit I've given up this year has been soft contact, so that's all I can ask for. Eventually they'll start hitting at people.
Last thing for you, just with the start, is it, not that you ever want to have a rough start, but is it easier to have a start this year, considering you've had that one good year under your belt and you don't have to necessarily panic?
Oh, no doubt. I have, I guess, a small track record from last season, which gives me a little bit of that. But I'm out there, I'm competing every day, and I'm not happy with the results I'm getting, and I'm going to work my butt off, and I'm going to turn it around.
Scott, best of luck tonight.
All right, thank you.
So maybe we'll see Scott Rice later, but first it'll be Dylan G on the mound looking for his first win of the year. Mets going for the sweep in Arizona. Gary and Keith have the first pitch. Coming right back.
This season as they wrap up their series here in Arizona, going for the sweep of the 3-game set, and the Mets have scored 16 runs the first 2 games of this series. They found the desert to their liking.
Well, they came in here hitting .207 as a team, and now their team batting average is .226 in 2 games. 12 and 13 hits. on all those runs. So things have turned around here against probably the worst pitching staff in baseball.
Well, the Diamondbacks come in with a starter's ERA this year of 7.82, which is more than 2 runs per game worse than any other team in the major leagues. Eric Young will lead things off. Young is 5 for 7 in this series. And he takes the first pitch from Brandon McCarthy for ball 1. There's the Geico Mets starting lineup. Kirk Neuenhuis in there for the 2nd straight day. Coming up to replace the injured Juan Lagares. Anthony Recker gets a start today. Ruben Tejada back in the lineup. And Ike Davis gets a start as well as Young takes a strike from Brandon McCarthy, 1-1.
Well, McCarthy has been one of the victims here and one of the culprits of this bad start. You can see his numbers. They're not very good. And we'll be watched with curiosity here. Terry said in the pregame interview in his office that they knew that Arroyo threw strikes and would try to get ahead. That's why the team was first pitch hitting. Well, the same could be said for McCarthy. McCarthy's a guy that throws strikes, does not walk people. He's been getting hit very hard, but over 19 2/3 has only walked 3 batters.
And last year only 1.4 walks per 9 innings, but he's behind on Young, the leadoff hitter, 3-1. Young's reached base in the first inning 6 straight games, and he takes a strike, 3-2.
Well, Young came in here slumping, and he has caught fire. He's got his average up to 255.
Scored 11 runs now in the last 7 games to jumpstart the offense, and he bangs one on the ground foul. Well, the Mets are going home after the game today. They host the Braves on Friday night, and whether they win or lose today, they'll go home with a winning road trip, but they'd love to put the hammer down against a team that really can't get out of its own way right now and get a sweep of this series against the Diamondbacks. Arizona 4-13 to start the year. 3-2 to Young, and he takes a walk. So for the 7th straight game, Eric Young gets on base to start the first inning.
Slider there just missed.
Am I mistaken, or did the PA announcer just introduce Daniel Murphy as Dale Murphy? Did I mishear that?
I wasn't paying attention.
We'll have to roll that back. That's great. 2-time MVP.
Yes, he was.
Daniel is 4 for 9 in this series. A double and an RBI. Young takes off first pitch. Montero's throw is not in time, and Young has a stolen base, his 8th of the year. So Eric Young continues to play catalyst at the top of the Mets batting order.
Well, he's making a statement to stay in the lineup, Gare. It's hard to pull him out of that lineup when he's getting on base. He provides really the only speed at the top of the lineup that the Mets have. They lose a lot of speed with Eric out of the lineup. And I believe that speed kills in the game, in baseball.
So an immediate runner in scoring position for New York, and Murphy bounces one foul. Well, the Mets are without Curtis Granderson again today. He's available to pinch hit as he was yesterday. Should be back in the lineup on Friday. Also Friday, the Mets are due to activate Chris Young from the disabled list. Chris is here today. Joined the team here in Arizona. There he is. After his rehab stint where he went 8 for 12 for Las Vegas, so he's ready to go. Coming back from a quad problem. So the outfield will get more crowded on Friday. McCarthy ahead 0-2 on Murphy. And he goes after a fastball and strikes out for the first out of the day.
Murph chasing a rare bad pitch, and we'll take a look at the Diamondback defense brought to you by Coors Light. Campana gets to start in center field, the speedster. Parra, of course, the Gold Glover, and also the strong arm. Goldschmidt a Gold Glover, Prado a Gold Glover. And there's your battery. Pennington getting the start today at shortstop. Switch hitter.
Here's David Wright. David's 3 for 9 in this series. A couple of RBIs. He's hit in 7 straight games. With Young at second and 1 out. Mets put up a 3-spot in the first inning last night against Bronson Arroyo and never looked back. Trying to get a run home here in the first today, and David hits one in the air to right center field, chasing Campana back in the gap. He'll give way to Parra, and Parra makes the catch. Young tags at second. Parra with that very strong arm gets it to third on 1 hop, but not in time to get Young. So Eric's at third with 2 out, with Ike Davis coming up.
Well, there's a first ball fastball hitting right there from David, who's been struggling. David's been a little under the ball, uppercutting, and a little out in front. And here's Ike getting a start here, and Again, Terry in the interview before the game said he wanted to give Ike a start here. Home folks, home crowd. He's had good games here.
Of course, Ike is from Arizona and went to school at Arizona State, so he's got plenty of family and friends on hand. He also had 2 hits against McCarthy, the only time the Mets faced him last summer here in Arizona. And a broken back grounder right at Aaron Hill. And so the Mets are turned aside in the open inning after the leadoff walk to Eric Young. Dylan G takes them out for the bottom of the first when we come back with no score. This afternoon brought to you by Hyundai. Aaron Hill goes back in the 2 spot today. First start of the series for Cliff Pennington. Same for Tony Campana. Trumbo moves up to 5th in the order as the Diamondbacks look to get something going after being shut out for the 3rd time this season last night.
Now you look at G's numbers and you would think he's knocked off to a sterling start. He's pitched better than the ERA. It's that home run ball late, Gary, has really hurt him.
Yeah, that rally after the 90 pitch plateau. I mean, he's had leads or tie games every time out, but last start the home run by J.B. Shuck, the start before the home run by Brandon Phillips, his first start a big double by Anthony Rendon on the last pitch he threw. So G has been very sharp early in games, but not so much when he gets to the middle innings. Gerardo Parra leads off, grounds one toward the hole. Murphy with a nice tumbling stop, and he throws him out. Outstanding play by Daniel Murphy for the first out.
Well, Murph has had himself a terrific defensive series here in Phoenix. Throwing from his fanny, very nice play. Ranging to his left, nicely done. He's made around 6 nice plays. See his jump off the bat. Well done.
Mets in general have played terrific defense on this road trip. They've gone 7 straight games without an error. Here's Aaron Hill with 1 out and nobody on. Hill 1 for 8 in this series, hitting at .221. And G pours over a fastball for a strike.
Usually Hill is a Met killer, and the Mets have just handled him this series.
Well, 2 years ago, Aaron Hill had a big year for Arizona. Then last year broke his hand, missed half the season. And he really has not gotten off to a good start this year as he takes a slider outside.
I think a lot of it has to do with this horrific start this club has gotten off to. I can just see the frustration, people trying to do too much.
He lifts one to right field, and Andrew Brown is right there waiting. And that's the second out. So G's retired the first 2.
And we'll take a look at your lovable Metsies defense, brought to you by Lexus. Kirk Neuenhuis, of course, you know he'd be back in there after that 3-for-5 day. Tejada back in the lineup. Ike Davis getting a start at first base. And Recker getting a start behind it. But I tell you what, Anthony Recker is an unsung hero. He's done a heck of a job.
Did you say lovable?
Yes. Like a Casey.
Metsy.
It's like Casey. I love it when Casey did that.
It's Paul Goldschmidt who takes the strike. Goldschmidt 3 for 7 in the series. He's off to a good start. Has 22 hits already, more than anybody else in the National League. And takes the curveball from Dillon for a strike, and it's 0-2. Goldschmidt, an enormous season last year, and now at age 26 trying to duplicate what he did last year when he had 36 homers, drove in 125, led the league in slugging percentage. Checks his swing, and he went around, strike 3. So Dylan G gets Goldschmidt on 3 pitches, and he's got himself a 1-2-3 opening inning. No score in Phoenix after 1.
Anniversary of the opening of Shea Stadium. Seats to this weekend's series against the Atlanta Braves start at $3.50. You can also find special $19.64 prices on select seats. Very clever. For tickets, visit Mets.com/1964.
Andrew Brown, first pitch swing, rolls one out to Cliff Pennington, who throws him out. 1 pitch and 1 retired for Brandon McCarthy. In fact, that's 3 straight hitters that McCarthy has retired on 1 pitch. And now one of last night's heroes, Kirk Neuenhuis, who arrived from Las Vegas in time to go 3 for 5 with a homer and 3 RBIs last night, with Juan Lagares going on the disabled list.
And let's not forget 2 very sterling catches in the field.
Now, Kirk has talked a lot about retooling his swing, trying to get a little bit shorter, trying to cut down on the strikeouts, and it was successful at Las Vegas. Only struck out 8 times in 42 at bats. Can you see an immediate difference?
I see the basic same swing, Gare. I do. I don't see a significant difference. But if he cut his strikeouts down in AAA, there's something going. I mean, it's more maybe pitch selection, maybe first ball, fastball hitting. You're going to strike out less.
He was hitting .310 in the minors before being called up. And he strikes out here. Second strikeout for McCarthy. Well, and the second for Neuenhuis. Struck out his last at bat last night.
Right down the pipe. Swung right under it. You know, if you get guys taking pitches and going deep in counts, the hitters that are struggle, not your quality hitters, you can't put them in 2-strike situations or getting behind the count or going deep in the count because they're taking pitches they should hit. So maybe Neuenhuis is being more aggressive at the plate. I don't know. I didn't see him play at Las Vegas.
Here's Anthony Recker with 2 out and nobody on, and he takes a strike from McCarthy. So McCarthy, after falling behind Eric Young and walking him, has certainly demonstrated the way he throws strikes. This is a guy who's gone 84 straight starts without walking more than 3 batters in a game. So he is going to come after you and keep the ball in the strike zone.
Well, if you look at his numbers, like I said, 19 2/3, he's given up 23 hits, 17 runs, all earned, 5 home runs. So the home run's been killing him too.
Oft injured right-hander, now 30 years old. And he comes inside. Most of his injury problems have involved his shoulder, particularly his shoulder blade. He has twice suffered a fractured scapula. But of course, the worst injury of all was the one where he got hit in the head by a line drive 2 years ago and suffered a fractured skull and a brain contusion, a hemorrhage, and they had to perform surgery. And that was not just scary, it was life-threatening. And McCarthy was able to come back last year with the Diamondbacks and have a credible season for them, although he was 5-11. He was able to throw 135 innings, worked to a 4.5 ERA. And Recker hits one to deep left field. Back goes Trumbull, back near the wall. That ball is out of here. An enormous blast off the bat of Anthony Recker for his 2nd home run of the year. And the Mets jump out to a 1-0 lead. Well, Recker won a game in Anaheim with a 13th inning home run, and now he hits a towering shot for his 2nd of the season.
Well, here's a guy you never thought was going to make the club last year. And had a terrific year last year. Had 7 home runs and spot playing and big home runs, big hits. And this year picking up where he left off. And let's not overlook his defense. He throws well. He's thrown out Billy Hamilton this year already. Speedster from Cincinnati. And he is a very strong man. He is fit as a fiddle. And that ball down, he crushed it.
Seems every home run he hits for the Mets puts them in front in the game. And again today. Ruben Tejada got the night off last night. Omar Quintanilla played shortstop and went 1 for 4. Ruben just 2 hits in his last 20 at bats.
Hitting too many balls in the air and getting long with his swing.
Well, we mentioned the Diamondbacks starting pitchers, your Coors Light cold hard facts. Among National League teams, their starters ERA almost 2.5 runs per game worse than the next worst team.
Now ERAs, folks, are earned runs, not runs that are coming on errors, and that doesn't lie right there. I mean, that stat doesn't lie. You just can't go through the season. They're in their 18th game through 17 games. They're just getting lit up. I mean, Arroyo just got lit yesterday.
Well, they've already sent 2 of their starting pitchers to the bullpen, Randall Delgado and Trevor Cahill. We saw Delgado in relief last night. Of course, they lost the guy who was projected to be their #1 starter, Patrick Corbin, for the season to injury, and that has left behind a crew that has struggled mightily. They have a tremendous prospect in AAA, kid named Archie Bradley, but they're not ready to bring him up yet. As Tejada strikes out to end the inning. 3rd strikeout for McCarthy, but the Mets jump in front on a mammoth blast by Anthony Recker. Recker's 2nd of the year puts the Mets in front early again. 1-0 New York in Phoenix. Last night, we have not given away the erroneous answer to the question yet, so we'll start from scratch. 3 players named MVP in 1980 or later who would go on to become major league managers.
Well,
it's one in the ballpark today.
One in the ballpark, yes.
Mm-hmm. That's a pretty easy question, I'd say, if you've been following National League Baseball.
You know what, though? I got up at, you're on the West Coast. I got up at 6 o'clock again. It's like 9. And then I'm twiddling my thumbs. I watch ESPN, get to, what happened around the league. Can't go back to sleep. It's a long day. I've been up 6 hours.
What's your point?
Don't ask me any questions.
Montero hits a comebacker to G. You're saying that you may not have total recall, that you haven't had enough sleep. Is that what you're saying?
No, I went to bed at a decent hour. It's just that you get up, when a short trip like this, I don't want to get on Pacific time. And then you get short trip for me, exactly, since I only came here. But even if I was in Anaheim, I don't want to get on Pacific time. Then you start sleeping later when you get back east, and that's nothing but trouble.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but Mark Trumbo takes outside for ball 1.
Well, if you start getting up later, then you start staying out later. You follow me? That's trouble.
Well, you don't have to stay out later. You can go home. You have a couch, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Trumbo hits one foul, 1-1.
Oh, gosh.
Trumbo 0 for 7 in this series. Still leads the National League in home runs with 6, and he's second in RBIs with 18. Martin Prado hitting 6th in the order on deck. G's retired the first 4. And Trumbo fouls one away.
So the Mets have been getting Trumbo out with breaking stuff down and away. He likes to pull the ball. But as you said, Gary, not in this broadcast, he's got tremendous power to right field.
Mm-hmm. And the curveball chopped to short. Nice easy hop for Tejada. And there are 2 out. So G rolling early again. 5 up and 5 down.
You get a team that's anxious like this. It's in a rut. And they're feeling the weight of the shoulder on their shoulders. Every batter trying to do too much. And they're basically, when they're in that mode and they're trying too hard, they're going to pull. So a pitcher like G that has command of change of speeds, good curveball, he can toy with a lineup like this if he's on.
Here's Prado, who's 0 for 8 in this series. In the 3 games, he's batted 5th, 2nd, and today 6th.
He's really not a guy you want in the RBI spot. He's really a number 2 hitter. And a lot of guys don't feel comfortable in those RBI spots in the order. I mean, Prado's hit basically second most of his career, correct? With Atlanta, he hit second.
How would you say that trade has gone for the Diamondbacks and the Braves? Braves got Justin Upton and Chris Johnson in that deal. Diamondbacks got Prado and Randall Delgado.
Well, if you just count last year, the bean on the bean counter, it goes on Atlanta's side. But who would have thought Chris Johnson would have finished second in the National League in hitting? I mean, that wasn't the main guy in the trade.
There's a good curveball from G. Had Prado bailing. Well, Johnson just got benched the last couple of days because he had struck out 4 times, twice in 3 days. But he should be back in the lineup when the Mets face the Braves Friday.
Whoa, lost his bat. A little more pine tar.
That didn't go far.
No.
Normally when you lose your bat, it sails away. That only a couple of feet behind him. 2-2 from G. And he paints the outside corner. Strike 3 call. Second strikeout for Dillon. 6 up and 6 down in the first 2 innings for G as Prado looks in wonderment. Lucas Duda getting the day off today. Ike Davis getting the start at first base.
And Lucas had a big night the first night of the series here. 4 hits.
Dylan G 0 for 4 to start the season. Lifetime 128 hitter. And McCarthy throws another first pitch strike. It'll be G, then Eric Young and Daniel Murphy for the Mets in the third. Mets got a home run from Anthony Recker in the second for the game's first run. And G bounces one down to third. In comes Prado to make the play, 1 out. So most people think of Lucas Duda as a man of few words, a guy without a whole lot of personality or sense of humor. Well, here's a little piece with Kevin Burkhardt that might belie that reputation.
I heard that you once had 2 triples in a college game in the same game. Did that really happen?
I'm not sure. I don't remember. If it did, the outfielders must have collided and fell down and tripped over each other and fell again, and then probably fell one more time, and then probably threw the ball away, and then third baseman may have tripped, and then the shortstop may have tripped, and I'm not sure. But
I can't ask another question after that, so I'll just say.
How about that?
Perfect. It's perfect. That's a nice piece. You see Lucas, he looks like he doesn't have 2 peeps come out of his mouth, but he has got a sense of humor.
And this is what his teammates always say, that you have to really get to know Lucas, that he has a very dry wit.
Yes.
And, as he gets more comfortable in the big leagues, I think more of that's going to come out. That was great, though.
It was. Leave it to Kevin. And Kevin's had that effect on me too.
Really, he's brought out the dry wit in you.
Yes.
Somebody had to get you out of your shell. 2-2 to Eric Young, who walked and stole a base his first time up.
How are you feeling today? Better?
How do I sound?
You sound the same. You break up a little bit sometimes.
The chopper, it'll be tough to throw him out. Hill can't make the play, and Young is aboard again. Boy. Even had Hill handled that cleanly, there's every chance Eric Young would have beat it out.
Oh, when you're hot, you're hot. Everything you hit. You see, when you're fast and you're a speedster, you just want to hit the ball on the ground. Line drives on the ground. You might beat it out. Hit the ball in the air, it's a big out.
Eric had one of those last night, a chopper that he beat out for an infield hit to lead off the game. So he's at first with 1 out, and now Daniel Murphy. Murphy struck out his first time up. Young stole a base on the first pitch in the first inning. Not going this time, and Murphy takes inside for ball 1. See McCarthy throwing his sinker at 91 to 93. That's faster than he threw last year, faster than he threw the year before that. His velocity is up. His results may not be up. Sometimes when you throw the sinker too hard, it doesn't sink as much.
He's got a good slider today. That's what's going for him. He's got a little tight slider working.
What he would call his cutter.
Okay. He's 6'7", 200 pounds. Big, tall drink of water, that's for sure. You can steal on him. A little slow home. And we already have a stolen base. That was the 8th stolen base, by the way, for Eric Young. He hasn't been caught yet this season.
You see the stolen base leaders in the National League. D. Gordon is off to a very hot start with the Dodgers. He's hitting about 370 right now. One and 0 to Murphy with right on deck. And Daniel hits one out to left field. Trumbo moving toward the line. And that's the second out. Young tagged at first, but not going anywhere. So Murphy's retired, 2 out, and now David Wright, who flied out to right on the first pitch he saw in the opening inning.
David just not quite in the groove yet in this young season. What I see right now, he's just pulling off a tad. He's getting better. I mean, it's going to come around eventually for Dave. The captain. Newlywed.
Captain America. Brandon McCarthy with his 4th big league team, originally drafted and made his big league debut with the White Sox, and went to Texas, Oakland, before signing with the Diamondbacks before last year.
He's definitely paying a lot of attention to Eric Young, as he should.
But he's got such a long, complicated move to first base. Allows Eric to get a pretty good lead. It's always a problem with those taller pitchers, right? Pitch out, but Young's not going.
Trying to think of a tall pitcher that had a good move, and I can't for the life of me.
Remember when the Mets had Chris Young, he couldn't hold base runners at all.
I'm trying to think of J.R. Richards, who was 6'8". He was slow home, but boy, was he. Outstanding stuff J.R. had.
Thinking about Randy Johnson, but it's different with a left-hander.
Yeah, it's totally different.
David takes off the plate, 2-1.
What did you say, Garrett? It's one of 2 parks here in Arizona, at Chase Field, that have the dirt lines from the mound to home plate.
Yeah, Detroit is the other one.
I don't know if I like that. I know it's
supposed to be old-timey.
Right. It's like a bowling lane.
I wonder if more pitchers like it or dislike it, because it seems like it might help a pitcher get the tunnel vision he needs to the plate. I don't know if that's true or not.
And would it be a distraction for a hitter? I don't think so.
McCarthy behind, 3-1. Young runs, curveball for a strike. Young steals the base. Second stolen base of the game, 9th of the year for Eric Young.
9 in a row. Good curveball, 3-1. Not a pitch to swing at. David wisely letting it go by.
Well, if he threw it 3-1, would he come back with it 3-2?
Or you can come inside. Don't forget, he's got the sinker coming in.
Lined right to shortstop. Pennington's got it. Side retired. Young steals a base, gets stranded again. Still 1-0 New York.
During today's game, you can get interactive with SNY Game Day on SNY.TV, featuring pitch-by-pitch coverage, player cards, and in-depth stats. Check out SNY Game Day on SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports. Gary, you know something? I'm getting the hang of this. In the course of the season, you have to read them day in, day. I'll give you a break.
You can read them anytime you would like.
Okay.
All you have to do is raise your hand.
If you're sure?
No, you'll be recognized by the teacher. Cliff Pennington leads off the home third and hits one in the air to left center. Neuenhuis and Young both closing on it, and Young will take charge. One pitch and one out for Dylan G, who's now retired the first 7 Diamondbacks this afternoon.
21 pitches for Dylan right now.
3 per batter. That'll do.
Yep.
Here's Tony Campana getting his first start of the series, the former Cub. Campana has had 380 at-bats in his major league career, and he has 64 stolen bases.
He's a speedster.
He's been used a lot in his career as a pinch runner, defensive replacement. Bluffs the bunt, takes a strike. He's got David Wright very close at third. His reputation precedes him.
As well as Ike over at first base. And it's even got Daniel Murphy and Tejada shortened up. They're almost at double play depth, the 2 middle infielders. How often do you see the middle infielders playing this much in the dirt? They're usually Murph and Tejada play deep.
G off the mound and makes the quick toss and gets Campana. So with everybody bunched in, it was G who wound up making the play. So 2 quickly retired, and that is not a misprint. Brandon McCarthy is 1 for 54 in his major league career. Got a hit against the Rockies last year, the only one in 54 at-bats. That is an .019 lifetime batting average.
There's Kirk.
Kirk Gibson in his 4th full season now as Diamondbacks manager, took over midway through the 2010 season, led the Diamondbacks to the NL West crown his first full year in 2011, but 500 records the last 2 years with bigger expectations than that, and a dreadful start to this year. Have Gibson maybe on the hot seat.
Well, we know about his playing career. He was a gamer, part of that World Championship 1984 Detroit Tiger team. Hit a home run in that series, and then of course as a Dodger, and we won't bring up '88. Well, I guess I did.
We already did.
And the home run he hit off Eckersley.
Brandon McCarthy takes a curveball for strike 3. 3 strikeouts for G, and just like Mejia last night, G is perfect through 3. 3 players named MVP since 1980 would go on to become major league managers. Well, as we said, one in the building, Kirk Gibson, and the other 2, Don Mattingly with the Dodgers, and Ryan Sandberg now managing the Phillies.
And it might have been 4 if there wasn't that shortened season. Matt Williams was having a terrific year for Arizona, correct? Was it Giants or the Arizona?
For the Giants.
Giants, yes.
Jeff Bagwell, I think, won the MVP that year. That was 94, the strike shortened year. Bagwell got hurt right before the strike, broke his hand, and probably would not have won the MVP if they had continued the season.
Right.
Ike Davis leading off for the Mets in the 4th. Ike grounded out to second base his first time up. Ike is now 0 for his last 14. He's had some good swings, but no results.
Well, he looks relaxed at the plate. This is a tough role for Ike. All the moving parts. He's a rhythm hitter, and it's going to be difficult being a bench player.
Both Terry Collins and Sandy Alderson said today that nothing's really going to change in the short term as far as the Mets' first base situation is concerned. Dude is still the starter. Ike's going to play once in a while. Satin will play against the lefties, and so it will go. Pulled toward the hole, and he gets it past Goldschmidt for a base hit. So that snaps that 0 for 14 for Ike Davis, and the Mets have the leadoff man on in the 4th.
Curveball here. Down breaker, down the middle. See, Ike's still out in front. See how he has to hit that ball with one hand to reach it? And maybe we can show that again. That has been his issue, is not letting the ball get deeper. Now watch him hit this ball down the middle, and he has to let go with one hand to get the barrel of the bat on. He's out in front, hitting the ball way too forward. Somehow has to bring it back.
Here's Andrew Brown. Andrew grounded out to short his first time up, getting a second straight start in right field with Curtis Granderson banged up after slamming into the fence on Monday. Curtis expects to be back in the lineup on Friday when the Mets get home. And when they get home and activate Chris Young, the Mets are going to have to make a decision about who goes. And you figure it comes down to Brown or Kirk Neuenhuis.
And you asked the question of Terry.
I did, because we talked about it last night, and you said it might be more likely they keep Brown to keep the balance on their bench. And so I asked Terry whether that would be a consideration, not being too left-handed on the bench, and he said no.
Right.
So,
well, the issue is, who cares if you're 3-2, 3 left, 2 right, or 3 right, 2 left? But the issue is, if you go 2 right, one of them is your backup catcher, and you only have 1.
But at the same time, you're going to face more right-handers out of the bullpen than left-handers. So I think there's also the question of versatility, because, while Neuenhuis can play all 3 outfield positions, Brown can only play the corners. He's not going to play center field for you. And as long as Lagares is out, I assume Chris Young is going to play center field most days, but Neuenhuis gives you another option.
I don't like Neuenhuis being up here rotting on the bench. Now, I know he's 26 now. You mentioned it last night. It's no longer like he's 23 years old. It's getting to a point now, you get that mid-20s, you got to get it in gear. But still, at 26, I just don't. To me, I'd rather have him playing every day. And I think my guess is he's the one that's going to get sent down.
3-2, nobody out. Davis at first, not going, and Brown fouls it off. Well, the only thing that might change that is if he has another big day today.
Absolutely, it's a big opportunity. The decision, he's got 2 games, a 2-game window here. He's halfway home.
Could be one of those Mike Jacobs decisions. Remember that?
Yes.
They were going to send Jacobs down. He hit a home run in Houston. He hit it at home, and then we came here.
Right.
He got to come on the trip, and he had an enormous series. Brown launches one to left. Over toward the line comes Trumbull. A long run into foul ground, and it goes into the stands. Jacobs wound up hitting 4 home runs in his first 4 games in the major leagues, starting with that pinch hit home run. Remember, his bags had been taken off the bus, and Pedro Martinez went in and argued for Jacobs making the trip. And Pedro won the argument, and Jacobs stayed and made the trip here. And that launched his major league career. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat from McCarthy to Brown. And he bounces one foul. It was in 2005. That's wound up trading Jacobs to the Marlins to get Carlos Delgado.
That's right. And didn't he wind up in Kansas City toward the end of his career?
I think so.
I think he did.
Long turn at bat for Brown with Davis at first and nobody out. That's up 1-0 in the 4th. And Brown hits one the other way toward the line. Fair ball going into the corner. Davis racing for third. Picked up by Parra. Davis will be held at third. Brown in at second with an opposite field double, and the Mets are in business in the 4th. Second and third and nobody out.
Nice hitting. Ball's away, too much plate, but is going right with it. Rips it down the line. Now check out Ike here on the turn, folks. I've never seen this.
Felt his helmet rattling around on his head and had to take it off.
Remember Willie Mays, when Willie Mays used to run, the hat would always come off. The helmet would always come off.
Well, we were talking earlier about Kirk Neuenhuis and the fact that he's trying to shorten his swing, and so we put side by side his swing from last year on the left and this year on the right.
And as you'll see, there's not much of a difference. Maybe the arms are, the take back might be going straight back instead of down, getting a little bit, got rid of the hitch a little bit, but nothing significant. It's hard to change a man's swing. You'd swung since you were a kid a certain way, and you're going to get someone to teach you to do it entirely different. It doesn't work.
But if you're not getting results,
it doesn't. Okay, if you're a hitter like, let's say Larry Boa, an Ozzie Smith, that you can make them into contact hitters. And those are the 2 most improved hitters that I ever saw in my career.
How about Matty Alou?
Well, that was Harry the Hat Walker when he went to Pittsburgh, yes. When he got traded to Pittsburgh, he won the batting title.
Infield back, they'll concede a run on a ground ball. 0-1 to Neuenhuis, and breaking ball has him behind 0-2. Well, this year, Brandon McCarthy, first time through the batting order, hitters are hitting 192 against him. Second time through the batting order, 292, 100 points higher. That's at 3 hits and 5 at bats, second time through the order so far. Second and third and nobody out. And another curveball. This one misses, so they have decided after last night that Neuenhuis gets a steady diet of breaking balls.
Well, he hit the home run on the changeup, Gare. So I think what they're trying to do is expand the strike zone. Neuenhuis has got a long swing, seeing if he'll go fishing.
Anthony Recker, who homered his first time up, is on deck. And Neuenhuis has a good swing at a fastball. We'll see McCarthy hit 94. He never used to throw a 94.
I'm having a hard time believing that gun, to tell you the truth.
Of course, he's now almost 2 years removed from that line drive off the bat of Eric Ibar that hit him in the skull. You have to think that has something to do with it. 1-2. Good eye. That one in the dirt.
Now, this might be the reason why Kirk has cut back his strikeouts, is that he's not fishing after bad pitches. He takes this pitch beautifully, not the least bit full.
Two. And the curveball drilled to center. Over comes Campana. He makes the catch. Tagging at third, Davis. The throw will go to third. Brown slides in safely there. Sacrifice fly for Neuenhuis. Makes it 2-0 New York.
Nice at bat. Neuenhuis. A double-double here. He gets the runner in and advances the runner in second. Stays back on the breaking ball. Neuenhuis doesn't have a rhythmic swing. He takes that big stride. He's got his legs. He's got a big stride. Kind of locks his hips up. So it's all upper body, which we see so much in today's hitters. But he's so strong that he can get away with it.
So 4 RBIs in 2 games for Neuenhuis. And now the infield comes in against Recker with Brown at third and 1 out. And Recker takes a hack at a fastball, 0-1. Well, Recker launched one into the seats in left field his first time up. Before that home run, only one Met had hit more than 1 home run this season, and that's Lucas Duda, who has 3. Now Recker has 2.
Recker, with only 11 at bats, has 2 home runs. Oh, beat him inside bad there. Here's the home run. Down, breaking ball hanging. And when you throw one like that, that's where it should go.
Got that ball high in the air. It was Kingman-esque.
Yes. Dave Kingman.
Kingman hit his home runs about as high as anybody had ever seen. And Recker down on 3 pitches this time. So McCarthy, who needed to strike out, gets one, his 4th of the day.
Well, he pitched him pretty tough right there. He didn't monkey around. Good sinker.
So 2 out. Brown still at third, and now Tejada, who has struck out his first time up.
And that's a big 2-out RBI right here for Ruben. These are the tough ones to get. Mets are hitting 189 as a team with runners in scoring position, 2 outs.
I think that's bad. The Diamondbacks are hitting 143. Oh, yeah, almost a wild pitch, and I don't know how Montero stopped that.
Montero is not fleet of foot back there. This is a tough chance for him. Boy, oh boy, he just hasn't got the lateral quickness, but he's known for his bat, not his glove.
Well, his glove was in the right spot there.
It was a nice play. Another curveball. So the pitcher in the on-deck circle. I think that McCarthy is going to be very careful with Ruben.
That's what makes being a number 8 hitter so difficult. You're in an RBI spot with 2 out. You'd love to drive in the run, but what are you going to get to hit?
It takes a veteran to be in that spot.
Another curveball, and now it's 3-0 to Ruben.
He's going to walk him, and
they'll give him intentional ball 4 now.
Now 3 straight pitches, and then the intentional. They finally call for an intentional pass. It still counts as an intentional pass.
As long as ball 4 is intentional, which it is. So Ruben goes to first. Second walk given up by McCarthy, and now Dylan G will bat with first and third and 2 out.
So you are feeling better. We went right to commercial break. You're feeling better?
I feel okay.
Everybody's sick in the truck, you know that.
I know.
I got sick in spring, and I know what you guys are going through.
Well, I appreciate all the help you've provided this week. Reading all the promos.
It's just because I like you.
Gee. Speaking of G, Dylan takes a strike. They're making me blush. Brown at third, Tejada at first with 2 out. Mets up 2-0 in the 4th. And G cracks one to left. Trumbo is there to make the catch. Well, that's the hardest ball Dylan G has ever hit, but it turns into the 3rd out. Mets get a run and strand 2. 2-0 New York.
Diamondbacks 2-0, and the Mets also made a move today as they outrighted John Lannon from the bullpen, and Daisuke Matsuzaka is here. Daisuke said, yeah, I certainly expected to be in Vegas a lot longer. Here's the caveat, though. The Mets are planning to use him in relief. Now, there's two sides to this. One of those sides is he's here as insurance against Henry Mejia if that blister's bad enough and can't make his next start. Obviously, Matsuzaka fits in there. But Sandy Alderson said today that, no, Matsuzaka is going to be in the pen. He'll be kind of a long guy in the pen. But this is not a role he's accustomed to. Matsuzaka said to me, hey, I'm not used to it, but I certainly know what's expected. And guys, he is absolutely not used to it. He's done it once since he came to the United States at any level. That was 2011 in a game in May. He pitched the 13th inning of a Red Sox loss to the Angels. He may have not done it his entire career. Right? It's been that long of a time. So I asked him, how is he going to get used to this role? He said, well, the only thing I plan on doing, I'm going to go out and throw with the outfielders a lot during the break. I'm going to stay loose as best I can the entire game just to try to make it so I could warm up a little bit more quickly. Let's go back to you.
He did have 14 relief outings in Japan before he came over, but it's certainly an unaccustomed role for Daisuke, much as it was for John Lannon, the guy he's replacing in the bullpen.
And I like his thought process. It's all going to be there. He is right there. All about preparation, being ready.
That's preparing. He's getting a snack in the fourth inning.
Looked like an ice cream sundae. Ice cream sandwich.
Gerardo Parra hits the comebacker, and G has retired the first 10 to start the afternoon.
Boy, this has just been an exercise in futility offensively for this Diamondback team. Boy, they are just really a frustrated group.
By the way, and Kevin didn't mention this, but there was some reporting about the fact that Bartolo Colon has been struggling with a balky back. But the Mets say there's no concern at all about Colon making his start on Saturday against the Braves. But there is certainly concern about Mejia because he busted a huge blister on that middle finger, and whether it's going to be able to recover in time for his next start is very much up in the air. Aaron Hill flying to right his first time up. He breaks his bat and pops one up. Ike comes charging in to grab it. 2 out. 2 batters, 2 broken bats to start the fourth inning for Dylan G.
34 pitches so far, Gare.
Well, he's been efficient. He has been deadly on wood.
And they're swinging the bat, Arizona. He just saws him off right there.
11 up and 11 down for Dylan. And now will face Paul Goldschmidt, by far the most potent bat in the batting order. He struck out Goldschmidt on 3 pitches his first time up. Well, strong starts to games, not a stranger to Dylan G. In the first 4 innings this year, the opponent's batting average is 163 coming into today, and worse now with the first 11 retired. There's a strike, 2-1.
Very interesting how Goldschmidt holds his bat and points it down. But when it gets ready to hit, he lifts it up. I've never seen anybody do that. Now, usually you're taught get in your stance because that's an extra wasted motion. But he does it so early, it's not an issue. And obviously, he's had success. Willie Mays had the big hitch. How about Mel Ott? Pretty good players.
Goldschmidt gets under one, shallow left field. And Eric Young comes striding in, and that retires the side. 4 perfect innings for Dylan G to start his day. And the Mets have a 2-0 lead as we go to the 5th in Arizona.
Teens look at Sheldon Richardson's offseason training, plus take a closer look at the potential wide receivers the Jets can take with their number 18 draft pick on an all new Jets Nation. You made me nervous, Gary. You're looking at me. That's Sunday at 7 p.m. only on SNY.
I was only going to comment on the interesting juxtaposition of doing a football promo over a shot of Sedona, which is the most serene place in the United States.
See, I thought you were critiquing me.
No.
It made me nervous.
No, I think you're doing a wonderful job. Eric Young will lead off in the 5th inning.
There we go.
Jets fan shaking his head because that's what Jets fans do.
McCarthy is giving something to the Arizona ball club that they haven't had in a while, at least going into the 5th inning.
Well, their starters have averaged right around 5 innings per start this year. He hasn't solved Eric Young yet. He walked Young in the 1st inning, and he chopped an infield hit in the 3rd, stole a base each time. Young now 9 for 9 in stolen bases. First Met ever to do that in the first 15 games of a season. Slices one down to Prado, and he's out for the first time today.
Oh, there you go. There's a red hat, but this is a very special red hat. And that is John D'Acquisto, folks, a former Major League pitcher, a teammate of mine. Came up with the Giants flamethrower, but it's always a little wild. Could never get command of his curveball. Went on to the Padres, with St. Louis, Cardinals with me. Old buddy right there.
Just to explain for the folks what a red hat is, it's part of the new replay system. He is the guy who coordinates the headsets for the umpires if there's a replay situation, and he also has a series of colored cards that he uses to let the folks on the field know how much time there's left in the inning break and such things. You can see the cards he has in his lap there.
Had a conversation with him, said it's going well. He does 31 games here in Phoenix.
Every Major League game this year will have that person known as the Red Hat to coordinate the timing and the video reviews.
It's like
put the umpires in touch with their brethren in New York.
It's like the Signal Corps.
Semaphore. Murphy's 0 for 2. McCarthy behind him 3-1. And he laces one in the left field for a base hit. For Murph, his 7th opposite field hit this year. He's only had 5 to right field. Last year he had 70 opposite field hits. Only Joey Votto had more in the National League.
Now, what's interesting about Murph is as David Wright steps in, going back to 2009, he has pulled the ball more. His base hits have been to right field more. So Murph's starting to go the other way. I like Murph when he uses the whole field, gap to gap hitter.
The Mets' 5th hit against McCarthy, and now David Wright, who had a bullet to short his last time up, 0 for 2 on the day.
McCarthy can't forget about Murph. Murph had a terrific year stealing the bases last year. He's only got 1 so far this year.
And he's working on a string of 23 consecutive successful stolen base attempts.
He really had a terrific year last year with stealing bases. And once you get on the radar screen, can't sneak him anymore.
Well, he's just a smart base runner.
Yep. He picks his spots.
For a guy who's naturally very aggressive, he's been very judicious about when to run and when not to.
David,
strike to right.
David's just a little out in front, reaching for that pitch away.
McCarthy up to 80 pitches. Kirk Gibson said before the game today he would have to get at least 100 out of McCarthy, who's not used to throwing that many pitches in a game. McCarthy, a guy who's generally very efficient. His last start, he worked into the 8th against the Dodgers and threw only 96 pitches, even though he gave up 6 runs, because he's generally in the strike zone. But here he is in the 5th inning, already at 81. Diamondbacks bullpen has been completely blown out because their starters have not given them any length at all. And now he's behind on right, 3-1. So back-to-back hitters that McCarthy's fallen behind 3-1, which is rather unusual. He's walked 2 in this game, 1 intentionally. Ike Davis on deck.
2 fastballs in and missed. 3-1 count. I'd be covering that outside half of the plate on this pitch. Breaking ball.
There's a strike at the letters on the cutter, 3-2.
So David just flying that shoulder out right now, just a little bit quick.
Well, you guessed that Murphy, right?
Yes. Another breaking ball.
Not going. And the curveball, strike 3 called. So David's caught looking on the curve. Murph gets back to first on the toss by Montero. And that's the 5th strikeout for McCarthy. So probably a good thing he wasn't running.
This is a curve to hit, but watch David's front shoulder. See how he's too quick? See his back foot come up? He's just starting too quick right now, which every hitter does when you're in a slump. And he'll come to the park one day. You work on it in the cage, you work on it in the BP, and then one day you'll come to the park and you'll hit that pitch on the outside part of the plate over the opposite field, and you go, I'm back. And then you're in a red-hot streak.
Ike Davis snapped an 0 for 14 with a base hit his last time up. Well, those are the last 2 seasons for Ike. 2012 he got off to a miserable start, but had the big second half. Last year, after a slow start, got sent to the minors, came back. Things got better for a while, and then he got hurt. It's this one in the air to center. Campana circling in. And that retires the side. A hit and 1 left. We're halfway through now in Arizona. Mets trying to sweep a series. They're up 2-0. Cacti are prickly. It's 93 outside today, and so they've closed the roof for the first time in this series. It was nice to have the roof open on back-to-back days. They have a problem here with the sun also when the roof is open. Casts some odd shadows and gets in the eyes of some of the patrons, and they don't necessarily enjoy that. Miguel Montero takes a curveball for a strike as Dylan G throws just his 40th pitch to start the bottom of the 5th.
It's like a roadhouse, isn't it? Like a big rodeo.
Like an airplane hangar.
There used to be an airport called Moffett Field that was in the Bay Area on the West Bay. Had all, when I was a kid growing up, it had all the old vintage World War II aircraft there. Right off Bayshore Highway 101, in between the airport, the San Francisco International Airport in San Jose.
Did they play baseball in there?
No, they did not. Same kind of building like this, Gare.
G retired Montero on a comebacker his first time up. And now he falls behind him 3-1. Only the second 3-ball count for G today. First one came to his last batter, Goldschmidt, who flied out to end the fourth. Trumbo and Prado to follow. And Montero hits one out to center. NYN has it lined up. One out in the fifth. Mark Trumbo coming to the plate. We check in with Kevin Burkhardt. Kevin?
So here's Trumbo in the offseason, guys, on the phone with the front office from the Angels, going over a bunch of details about the trade. And the next day is an event he had been going to for years as an Angel, the Angels Christmas party. And they had it for underprivileged children, and a great event. You know, Santa there, they play video games, they read to the kids, the whole thing. So he's on the phone with these folks about the trade, and he brings up, hey, by the way, I'm still going to go tomorrow. And they're like, what do you mean? He's like, well, I'm still going to go to the Christmas party. Is that okay? And they said, well, I guess. And so here is Trumbo, who's now no longer a member of the Angels, going to the Angels Christmas party. He said, you know, it's something that was always really, really important to me. You know, those kids are inspirational. I got great joy out of doing that and being there for them. And I wanted to do it. He said, was it a little weird going there where everyone had their Angels uniforms on and I was in a flannel shirt? Yeah, it was a little bit weird, but it was worth it. I don't know too many guys, fellas, that would actually do that the day after they got traded. I think it's a pretty noble thing.
It's pretty impressive, yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Well, Trumbo's unusual in another respect in that young power hitters of his ilk don't often get traded at this point in their careers. Popped it up.
Boy.
And NYN comes in under this one. And there are two out. In fact, only once before in Major League history had a guy who'd hit 25 or more home runs each of his first 3 years gotten traded the next year. And that was Ron Kittle, who was Rookie of the Year with the White Sox in '83. And then wound up being traded to the Yankees in '86. So normally, especially in this era where home runs seem to be harder and harder to come by, particularly from right-hand sluggers, guys with Trumbo's power don't usually get dealt. They usually get held on to. Martin Prado takes a strike.
Is it too early to mention to the folks at home that what Mr. G's got working here?
Would you like to say what you need to say?
It's been 14 up and 14 down, folks. He's been perfect.
Perfect's a good word. 1-1 to Prado, who took a call third strike his first time up. I just wanted you to say it because that way, if he happens not to throw a perfect game, I won't be the one who gets, chastised for doing my job. Prado pulls one to third, and he's perfect no more. Prado on his way to second. Young overruns the ball, and Prado easily pulls it to second base. So, folks, when you send out your tweets, his name is Keith Hernandez.
Am I going to need a police escort? Well, there it goes. Another Met no-hitter. Change-up right down the middle, sinking. Prado, I was just going to say, this is a guy, but anybody's going to break it up. And there's another ball to David's right.
He's been playing off the line against those right-hand hitters throughout the early part of this year, and it's cost him a couple of times. Now Cliff Pennington, the batter. Pennington flied out to left his first time up. So the first base runner of the game for the Diamondbacks after G retired the first 14. And Pennington pops one up into shallow left. Should be easy for Eric Young. So G gives up his first hit, but he's got 5 scoreless innings under his belt and just 52 pitches thrown. And he's got a 2-0 lead as we go to the 6th. And Fias catch every dig in the dirt, wiping the brow, and 3-2 pitch from the Mets this season with Fias Quantum, America's fastest internet. Sixth inning, Andrew Brown leads off against Brandon McCarthy. Mets with a 2-0 lead, and I believe Keith Hernandez is now trending on Twitter.
Yes, keep tweets, all you tweetsters. It's water off my back.
Well, I did goad them just a little bit. See, usually I'm the one who gets the wrath of the fans after the Met no-hitter is broken up. But I think we should remind everybody that when Santana threw his no-hitter, we mentioned it all night.
Yes.
And somehow it still happened. So there is no jinx.
I just got texted by Bobby O.
What did he say?
Way to say it, Max.
Let me tell you something. If we had any impact on what happened on the field, we could quit and make a lot of money.
We could.
Instead, we stay here and we try and bring you the game, keep you up to date on what's going on, whatever it might be. 2-2 to Andrew Brown. Kirk Neuenhuis on deck, and then Anthony Recker as the Mets bat in the sixth. That's got a home run from Recker in the second, a sac fly from Neuenhuis in the fourth, and that's been plenty for G so far. Up the middle, and Brown's got himself a second hit. Waited on the breaking ball nicely. Mets get the leadoff man onto the sixth. Time for a game break. Let's send it back to the studio for Jonas Schwartz.
Center fielder Kirk Neuenhuis.
Here's Kirk Neuenhuis with a runner at first and nobody out. Neuenhuis lined a sacrifice fly to center field his last time up. And he tries to lay off the breaking ball and stop the swing in time. 1-0. So Neuenhuis has now had 7 plate appearances since coming up yesterday, and he's driven in 4 runs. 3 for 5 last night, including a home run. And he strokes one out to left. Trumbo's right there. And that's the first out. So now Recker, who hit his second home run of the year back in the second, and then struck out in the fourth, 1 for 2. It's going to be interesting as the season goes along if Recker keeps performing the way he has, if he'll continue to be that once a week guy, or if he'll play a little more than that.
He might get a couple starts a week.
Travis d'Arnaud still trying to get completely on track. He's looked better on this road trip, particularly since Anaheim. But Recker is the classic case of a guy who, at mid-career, appears to have improved.
Well, he got his opportunity, and he made the most of it, to say certainly has.
Had brief big league time with the Cubs and the A's before coming to the Mets last year. Joe Thatcher up in the bullpen for the Diamondbacks. McCarthy approaches 100 pitches.
Thatcher and Brad Ziegler are the only 2 guys that haven't pitched in this series for Arizona.
The 2 sidearmers, one from each side. Maybe that's what they need, more sidearm.
Well, they need what they're getting right now from Mr. McCarthy, Brandon McCarthy, and that's some innings.
Well, we talked about Kirk Gibson asking him for 100 pitches today. Only once in his last 18 starts has McCarthy thrown 100 pitches in a game, and that was exactly 100. So he's not a guy who generally goes much further than this. 2-1 to Recker with Brown at first, and Anthony pounds one into the ground. 2-2. Recker just got a piece of that one.
Tonight's Twisted But True Fact is brought to you by Twisted Tea, the hard iced tea that tastes like real iced tea.
Well, we were talking last night about those $25 hot dogs. They've sold as many as 350 of them in a game this year. 350 times 3,000 calories. That's over 1 million calories worth of D-Bat dogs sold in a single game.
Recker pulls one down the line. That's going to go to the corner for an extra base hit. Brown racing for third. He'll be held there, and Recker pulls into second base with his second extra base hit of the day.
What a terrific at bat. And he fought off a lot of tough pitches inside. Keeps his shoulder in, gets a hanger. Nice hitting. And I don't know where Trumbo's throwing this ball. No, you don't throw it there. You hit the cutoff man down the third base line.
Did he think he was going to get Recker out at second?
No chance.
Here comes Mike Harkey, the pitching coach, out to talk to McCarthy, who's at 98 pitches. You got Ruben Tejada coming up. That's a second and third and one out. Well, that is that D-Bat dog, which is what they call it. One of Keith's favorites.
It doesn't look very enticing, does it? Is that a corn dog? Is that what it is?
It looks like a corn dog wrapper there. You got a lot of mustard in there.
And then they pour tons of fries.
Yeah, that would add to the calorie count, wouldn't it?
Certainly would. Cholesterol.
Well, I think the best idea if you're going to indulge in the huge hot dog is to do what the couple last night were doing. Share. Maybe share amongst a whole bunch of friends. They're going to walk Tejada intentionally for the second time and fill the bases, and may well be that this will be McCarthy's last batter. You got Dylan G coming up, and G hit a bullet against McCarthy last time out. McCarthy was fortunate that it went right to the left fielder, so we might see Thatcher in the game after this intentional pass.
I think he's going to stay with McCarthy.
Almost threw that ball over the plate.
I don't like the idea of bringing a left-hander in. You got a potential squeeze, although I don't like squeezes with the bases loaded because of the force out at the plate. I just don't see any reason to bring in a left-hander to face G, and he's going to stay with McCarthy, looks like.
So Dylan with an RBI chance. He's had 10 RBIs in his career and 0 for 2 today. Last time up he hit the ball as hard as we've ever seen him hit it.
And very curious how they're playing this. This is a potential squeeze. The corner infielders, look at the first base, Goldschmidt way in, and the third baseman not in. That's peculiar.
Dylan taking a long look down at Tim Tuffle to see if that squeeze is on. Not likely on an 0-1 pitch.
Now you do realize that there is a sign that if the squeeze is put on, the batter has to give a counter sign back that he got the squeeze. No.
Broken bat, and Goldschmidt can't field it cleanly. Hill has to get it, and a run will come home. With Goldschmidt playing so tight he couldn't field that broken bat grounder cleanly. It's a 3-4-3 putout as Brown scores to make it 3-0.
Well, I mentioned it earlier that he got way in, extremely in, and that cost him. That would have been a double play right there. It's twice in back-to-back games that Goldschmidt had balls hit to him that he normally, as a Gold Glover, makes the play. I think it's way too far in, number one. Nice bit of bat work by G.
So that's going to be all for McCarthy. He was left in to face G, but he'll exit now with Eric Young coming up. So McCarthy goes 5 2/3, throws 104 pitches. And the left-hander Joe Thatcher will come into the game. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon. Mets up 3-0 in the 6th. the bullpen for Arizona.
This is Joe's 8th season in the big leagues. Traded last year midseason to Arizona.
Eric Young is first batter with 2 in scoring position. Young has walked, had an infield hit, stolen 2 bases today, 1 for 2. Mets have a run home in the 6th. Recker at third, Tejada at second with 2 out. And Eric takes outside from Thatcher, 2-0. Thatcher was traded to Arizona when Ian Kennedy was dealt from the Diamondbacks to the Padres. D-backs probably wouldn't mind having Kennedy back, the way their starting pitching has gone.
This is the side of the plate that is the weaker side for Young, the right side.
Although, remember when he first came to the Mets last year?
Yeah,
he was raking from the right side.
He was. I do recall.
2-1 from Thatcher, and he pulls it foul. So McCarthy goes 5 2/3. He allowed 7 hits, 3 runs so far, responsible for the 2 on base, 3 walks, 2 of them intentional. So that's 85 straight starts now. He's walked 3 or fewer, and he struck out 5, a lot of home run. But Dylan G has been splendid today, and McCarthy leaves on the short end. 2-2. Strike 3 call. Got him on the outside corner. So Thatcher comes in, gets a big out, and the Mets settle for 1 run in the 6th and lead at 3-0. The bottom of the 6th with a 3-0 lead, having allowed just 1 base runner through the first 5 innings. They'll face Tony Campana, the number 8 hitter. Then A.J. Pollock has come out on deck to bat for the pitcher. The Diamondbacks were shut out last night. Shut out through the first 5 innings today. And Campana takes high for ball 1. Last night, Henry Mejia went 5 scoreless innings before he was forced to leave with a blister. Oliver Perez up in the Diamondbacks bullpen, worked 2 innings last night, but getting ready to come in again. 2-0 to Campana. So the Mets staff has thrown 15 consecutive scoreless innings going back to the 9th inning on Sunday.
Well, this has been a group effort for the Diamondbacks here. I think that the offense is going to come under some criticism soon, but I think it's all because they've been playing from behind, and it's just been a chain reaction. Now all stations are on red alert.
Campana floats one, and Tejada gets back to grab it. Just a little fister, and Tejada able to grab it for the first out.
Serious jam shot. This is getting overpowered. Fastball up, and look at the inside out. Look at the elbow come in, come across his body. That is called dial it up a notch.
So now A.J. Pollock, who started the first 2 games of this series in center field, went 2 for 6. Will pinch hit for Thatcher, who came in and got 1 out. The Diamondbacks in this series have had 80 at-bats with 13 hits. That's a 163 average with 3 extra base hits. Now, Daisuke Matsuzaka is up in the Mets bullpen. I don't know if he's warming up to come in a game or if he's just getting some work in. Daisuke last worked 4 days ago, went 7 scoreless innings for Las Vegas.
Well, Kevin mentioned in his conversation with him prior to the game that he would throw a little bit and stay loose. So maybe he's just, in case the bell rings, he's ready.
Well, he's going to have significant lead time. Hammered to shortstop, and Tejada's got it. 2 out. I mean, when you've started your entire career and you're used to the long warm-up period that a starting pitcher gets, at least the first few times you work out of the bullpen, you're going to have to know well in advance that you're coming in.
A lot of pitchers over the history of baseball have made the adjustment. It's hard to see number 16 on anybody other than Doc Gooden. I'm sorry.
Well, of course, 16 was a number of honor in Japan. That's what Hideo Nomo wore. Nomo wore it as a Met as well.
It's Doc Gooden to me.
Yep. Here's Parra, who's 0 for 2 today, 0 for 9 in the series, and he takes a strike. When the series began, Parra had a lifetime batting average against the Mets of .340. But the Mets have stymied him so far through 2 games plus.
62 pitches for G, and we're in the 6th inning. It's almost 10 an inning. That is just very economical.
Hasn't walked a batter, struck out only 3. He's got all his pitches working today. 0-2 to Parra. Change up, shallow center. Neuenhuis coming on hard, and he can't quite get to it. Parra's going to try for 2. G's going to cover second base, and he is out.
Oh, boy.
Great play by Dylan G, getting there in time to cover as everybody else had gone into the outfield to try and catch the pop-up. It's a base hit for Parra, and then Tejada able to pick it up and get it to G on time for the 6-1 putout at second base. And Parra is slow getting up at second. Dylan G gets a good reaction.
Heads up. Well done. fan photo of the game. Tweet or Instagram your photo using hashtag SNYFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown later tonight in the game. So we look very much forward to the winner tonight. They've been outstanding so far in the first 2 games.
Oliver Perez will come on to pitch for the second straight night for the Diamondbacks. Ollie reintroduced himself to the Mets last night with 4 strikeouts in 2 innings of work.
He sure did. Only give up 1 hit. And had a little Louis T on from the left side.
Yes, he did. Turning the back to the hitter. Daniel Murphy 1 for 3 today. Single to left his last time up. Well, what a play by Dylan G to end that inning. Tejada retrieving the ball and hitting G on the move, and it was quite a tumble between G and Parra at second base. Parra was slow getting up, but he's okay. He's back out in right field.
That was all on G. Good heads up.
There's Ollie turning his back, and Murphy grounds one to Pennington at short. 1 out of the 7th. Well, we've seen the lefty side armor today. Now the righty side armor. Brad Ziegler is up in the bullpen for the D-backs. More of a submariner than a side armor. David Wright 0 for 3 today. Started the day with a 7-game hitting streak. He's flied out, lined out, and struck out. And Ollie gets one over for a strike. Before last night, the Mets had not faced Oliver Perez since he was a Padre or a Pirate back in 2003.
It's hard for me to get used to pitchers being able to go to their mouth on the mound. Just wasn't it just my whole career that they weren't allowed, only on really cold days.
Now, as long as they wipe it off, it's okay.
And David drills a base hit. So a hit a day. 8-game hitting streak now for David.
Hey, when you're struggling, 1 a day keeps the doctor away. Good hitting right here. David wears out lefties. Fastball didn't get it in. Right down the middle. Down. David right on it. Nice swing.
So now Ike Davis is 1 for 3 today. Single to right, scored a run in the 4th. Mets got a home run from Anthony Recker for their first run in the 2nd. Neuenhuis drove in a run in the 4th with a sac fly, and Dylan G had the other RBI on a broken back grounder in the 6th. And the curveball from Ollie for a strike. It's hard not to watch Ollie and smile. I mean, remembering all the bad stuff that happened when he was a Met, it's fun watching him pitch. It always was, because he always seemed to make stuff up as he went along.
He was a headache. He was a Rolade. Go to the cabinet and get the bottle of Rolaids. You never knew what you were going to get. That's for sure.
Andrew Brown waiting on deck. Well, you have to say the most famous pitch that Ollie ever threw was the pitch he threw to Scott Rowland, that Rowland hit over the fence that Andy Chavez caught.
Yes.
That would make Perez the party of the other part. Andy having saved him 2 runs.
The party of the third part.
That's actually, it could be the 4th, because Edmonds got doubled off first. But he was actually the party of the first part because he threw the pitch.
Now,
he initiated the action.
That was a Marx Brothers skit in one of their movies. I forget which one. Groucho.
Might be A Night at the Opera.
Pulled it off with Chico.
There goes Wright. The curveball inside. No chance for Montero on that slow curve. And Wright has the stolen bases. First of the year.
And the third of the ball game for the Mets. 2 from Eric Young, and now David Wright on the board.
That's now with 14 stolen bases for the season. They came into today second in the National League in steals. So Wright's in scoring position with 1 out. 3-2 now to Davis with Brown on deck. Those are the overall numbers for Ollie. Ups and downs. As a Met, strung over 5 seasons. 3-2, and Davis takes inside, ball 4, and the Mets have 2 men on.
It's all things New York sports, all on one site, SNY.TV, the ultimate blog network, featuring a continuous flow of sports news straight from the best New York sports blogs. SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports. I can get used to that.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Do you like to read some Hamlet now? Here's Andrew Brown, who's having a nice day. 2 for 3, a single and a double. Hit the double to right field, hit the single to center field. And we know he's got power to left field. Brown getting his 2nd straight start for Curtis Granderson in right field. Curtis hopes to be back in the lineup Friday. Mets will also have Chris Young back in the lineup Friday, coming back from the DL. And Brown gets under one. Out to left center field where Campana is patrolling. And that's the 2nd out. So 2 out and 2 on in the 7th. And now Kirk Nieuwenhuis 0 for 2 and a sacrifice fly this afternoon. Did you see that the Astros called up their big prospect, George Springer?
Yep.
Remember, they offered him a multi-year contract in spring training. He and his agent turned it down, and they sent him to the minor leagues. Now, some people felt as though that was punitive, but now here, 2.5 weeks into the season, Springer has been called up. Last year, Springer in Double-A and Triple-A hit 37 homers, drove in 108 runs, hit .303. And they'll put him in center field, and he'll probably stay there the next 15 years. Of course, he's a Connecticut kid, went to UConn. The Astros shed all of their veteran players and really have built up a big-time farm system. It'll be very interesting to see how long it takes them to be competitive. 1-1 to Nieuwenhuis, and he takes a slider for a strike.
It's just hard for me to get used to the Astros being in the American League.
Well, the American League Astros will come to Citi Field this year to close out the season.
Close it out, yep. It's always been the Brew Crew the last 2 years, right? This year it's the Stros.
1-2 to Nieuwenhuis with 2 out and 2 on. And Kirk takes a call, 3rd strike. So Oliver Perez strands a pair. 7th inning stretch time now in Arizona. Mets 3, Diamondbacks nothing.
Well, the Mets are trying to complete the sweep here in Arizona, but up next after an off day Thursday, it's the Braves who will be at Citi Field, and the Braves are hot right now since the Mets left Atlanta. They've won 4 in a row, and they are hitting home runs at a crazy pace. 12 home runs in those 4 games that were postponed last night against the Phillies because of bad weather. I was talking to a scout about the Braves today, and he had some interesting analysis. He said, you know, the one thing about them, they are a resilient bunch. They really are. They're dangerous. And I think being around them, that they really relish the fact that they are the team that no one talks about, that everyone talks about, the Nationals. They love that role. I think they play off that role. He said, and I definitely think they're in the Nationals' heads. I asked him how in the world he's supposed to pitch to Freddie Freeman. I mean, the guy's hitting .404. He's got 4 home runs. And he said, I don't know, maybe try down the middle and hope he hits it somebody. He said the one thing about Freeman that I've noticed covering him all his years, he's gotten bigger and stronger every year. He said he's just got the it factor. He really does. He knows he's good. And I can see an MVP in his future. Keith, you agree with that one?
No question. He had a terrific year last year. He was in the MVP hunt. So he's a young kid. Its future's right in front of him. Absolutely, Kevin. It's going to be interesting. I'm sorry, Garrett, when they build that new ballpark, what the dimensions are going to be in that new park. Is it going to be a hitter's park? Because if we tell you Atlanta, that ballpark, Turner Field, that's a big yard.
It's huge. Well, they built it for their pitchers. 380 and 390 the gaps as Hill lines out to right for the first out. But, you know, Freeman has swung the bat well from the start of the season, but Justin Upton got hot against the Mets, and he has stayed hot. Justin is 11 for his last 18 with 4 home runs in the last 5 games.
He's a streak hitter, and he has a long swing, and when he gets hot, he can get on a roll, and then he can go real cold. So you don't want to catch him in a hot streak. He's a big, strong kid.
Here's Goldschmidt, who has struck out and flied out, 3 for 9 in the series. Mets have kept him in the ballpark, but he drills this one deep to center field. Neuenhuis goes back, takes a look, and it's off the fence. Goldschmidt will go to second, and he's in standing with a double. Well, there's that 25-foot high line in center field that you have to clear for a home run, and it hit about 15 feet up.
Well, Neuenhuis plays it beautifully off the top of the wall. No, I'm sorry, the top of the padding. You're right.
407 plus that height to get it out here. So Goldschmidt settles for his 8th double of the year. So a couple of hard hit balls against G here in the 7th.
69 pitches. I just think it's not so much the after 90 pitches with G. I just think it's kind of a mental block with some of our Met pitchers, starters, that they get in that 7th inning, they can't get out of it.
So Carlos Torres and Scott Rice will get up in the bullpen just in case Dillon needs help. That was the 3rd hit for the Diamondbacks. Miguel Montero, the batter. Remember also that G got tangled up with Parra on that play at second base to end the 6th inning, and I don't know if he got jolted at all, whether the Mets are concerned at all about G taking them out here in the 7th. But Terry and Dan will keep an eye on him. Montero is 0 for 2, and he drills one at deep right field. Back goes Brown near the wall, and he made the catch. Andrew Brown with a terrific play.
Well, the Mets have really had a terrific defensive series here. And Andrew Brown, not known for his glove, makes a very, very nice play. That wouldn't have been out, but that's trouble. That's a double and a run scored.
Wow, that is a fine play by Brown. I'm not sure he knew exactly how much room he had out there, but he stretched perfectly to catch that ball right at the yellow line. So all of a sudden the Diamondbacks getting some good swings against G here in the 7th. Hill lined out. Goldschmidt hit one off the fence in center, and now Montero hitting one to the wall. This is what has befallen G throughout his career, but especially this year. Once he gets to 90 pitches, it all seems to fall apart for him. Now he's at a much lower pitch count at this point in this game. And look at that.
Yep.
312 for his career and 5 for 7 this year after he gets to 90 pitches, and that includes the Phillips home run against the Reds. It includes the Shuck home run against the Angels.
But he could turn that around. It's much like a hitter in April who has a 4 for 4 day and goes from 190 to 300. So that can be turned around.
Well, here's Trumbo, another dangerous hitter with a runner at second and 2 out. And a bouncing ball. Tejada on the charge. And so G gets through some trouble in the 7th inning. Helped out by a terrific play by Andrew Brown. 7 scoreless innings for Dylan G and a 3-0 lead.
I'd run him out there in the 8th.
Collins talking with Dylan G in the dugout. Don't know whether Dylan's done for the day after 7 innings, but he certainly got hit a little harder in that 7th.
I hope not.
Only 72 pitches, so that's certainly not a concern.
So what? He gave up a couple hard hits. So what did he do when he got the final out? He got the big power hitting Trumbo to hit into a weak ground ball. Run him back out there again. Run a challenge at him.
Meanwhile, the side-arming right-hander Brad Ziegler will take over for the Diamondbacks in the 8th.
Well, this is 4th season with the Diamondbacks. Got traded over in 2011 from Oakland.
Anthony Recker leads off. Recker's had a big day at the plate with a home run and a double, 2 for 3. It'll be Recker, Tejada, and the pitcher spot, so we'll know in a moment whether the Mets plan to run G out there. Warm-up action has continued in the Mets bullpen. Record golfs one foul, 0-2.
It's funny how GMs find a counterpart to trade with. And with this Arizona Diamondback club, it's Oakland. They've made a bunch of trades with Oakland.
Kyle Farnsworth warming up in the Mets bullpen. He has been the Mets 8th inning guy. Well, you know, Billy Beane will trade with anybody.
Oh, well.
Often structuring those 3-team trades.
Oakland's playing well again this year.
The A's off to a 10-4 start, and that's without maybe their best pitcher, Jared Parker.
And the Mets will go to Oakland. Mets go twice to the Bay Area this year on the road.
And Recker chases the breaking ball. That's the first out in the top of the 8th. Ziegler, a right-handed specialist, and you can see why.
Took something off that slider. Mets only have a 2-game series in Oakland.
2 games enough there.
Then you go up. Then they go up to Seattle from there.
I'm just saying, 2 games is enough in Oakland.
That ugly ballpark. It used to be a pretty park. What do they call that? Davis's what? Al Davis?
Davis Mountain?
Yes, Davis Mountain.
Well, Dylan G is coming out of this game.
Yeah, yep. I don't agree.
Curtis Granderson is coming out on deck to pinch hit. So after 72 pitches in 7 innings, G's coming out. And we have no idea from up here, Keith, but I would have to guess that play at second base has something to do with it. that somehow he got banged up. I mean, he got up immediately after making the tag, but he took a tumble, and I have to think there's some level of concern about that as Ziegler makes the play on Tejada for the second out. Here's the play again. Gee, very heads up covering at second.
He's fine. Very heads up is correct.
So G done after 7 scoreless innings today. Allowed just 3 hits. Didn't walk a batter. Struck out 3. And now Curtis Granderson, nice to see him back in the batter's box after he took a hard hit off the right field fence in the first game of this series. Hits it right into the shift where Aaron Hill is playing. So on one pitch he's retired, and that's it for the Mets in the top of the 8th. 3-0 New York. Series against the Braves this weekend. The Mets will see the same 3 pitchers they saw in Atlanta: Harang, Santana, and Hale. Mets will have Nice, Colon, and Wheeler. That's assuming that Colon's back is okay, which we think it will be. Meanwhile, Kyle Farnsworth has come on to pitch the bottom of the 8th inning for New York.
Well, Farnsworth, is the numbers don't lie. He is throwing. He is throwing now really outstanding. Something we didn't see in spring training, Gary. He didn't make the ball club. Signed a minor league contract. And here he is up, and he's throwing better than he threw all spring.
Well, certainly he's throwing harder and much more effectively. Worked a 1-2-3 inning last night. Gave up a couple of line drive outs. Prado, Pennington, and Campana 6, 7, and 8 in the order for the Diamondbacks, who must be thrilled to see Dylan G out of this game. But the Diamondbacks have now gone 17 straight innings without scoring a run. Yeah, Prado takes a fastball strike. Prado has one of the 3 hits for the Diamondbacks. In fact, he had their first hit when Dylan G was working on a perfect game. He had retired the first 14. And Prado pulled a double down the left field line. And then Twitter exploded.
Yes. And I think they're over it by now.
You think? I haven't been keeping up.
Well, they got the blooper, so there's 3 hits on the board.
Right. So you're saying you're only responsible for 1?
Correct.
Farnsworth throws the slider off the plate, 2-1.
Farnsworth, another one of these guys. Farnsworth, he's 38 years old. He's fit as a fiddle. He is really in great shape.
So Pennington, the switch hitter, on deck. Just turned 38 a couple of days ago. Farnsworth smacked to short. Tejada can't get it. And Prado has a leadoff hit in the bottom of the 8th. So the Diamondbacks have their 4th hit, and they get the leadoff man on for the first time today.
High fastball ripped by Prado just out of the reach of Tejada.
The last time the Diamondbacks got a leadoff base runner was in the 4th inning last night when Parra walked to start an inning. Now they get a leadoff man on in the 8th. Cliff Pennington, the batter, twice his flight out to Eric Young in left field. And Pennington pops it up. And Young takes charge. 1 out.
Pennington's got a real big uppercut. 5 fly balls to left field. He's got a 3 of a kind.
He's another guy that came from Oakland.
That's right.
In fact, it was the same deal when he came from Oakland that Chris Young, the Mets' Chris Young, went from Arizona to Oakland. Here's Tony Campana, 0 for 2 today. Comebacker and a pop to short. Eric Chavez has come out on deck to pinch hit. There's Eric Chavez. And Campana thinking about a bunt. Ball 1. See what Tanaka did against the Cubs this afternoon?
He threw a gem.
2 bunt singles, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts in 8 innings.
He towed the slab and twirled a gem.
That's the start of a day-night doubleheader after the rain and snow out last night. Line to left field, and that's going to fall in for a hit. And just like that, the Diamondbacks are going to get the tying run to the plate here in the 8th.
And that's going to be Eric Chavez is going to be the pinch hitter. And Farnsworth was up with his pitches today. Both base hits have been up in the strike zone.
So Chavez will be the pinch hitter. He appeared last night as a pinch hitter and grounded out. Scott Rice, Carlos Torres standing around in the Mets bullpen. So the Mets pulled Dylan G after 7 innings and 72 pitches with a shutout working, and now Farnsworth has given up a couple of hits here in the 8th. And Chavez, who's a home run hitter, or at least has been for a good bit of his career, the tying run at the plate.
Not guarding the lines. And this is something the Mets do. It's a Terry's philosophy, obviously. I would be more inclined. I don't have no problem with David where he's at because Chavez is a pull hitter. Ike, get him over a little bit. Get him a little closer to that line.
Chavez 4 for 17 to start the season with a home run. And Farnsworth gets one over at the knees. 1-1. Well, Josh Colmenter, who started the first game of this series, is up in the bullpen for the Diamondbacks. Talk about your versatile guy. Addison Reed, the closer, up alongside him. But that'll tell you the state of Kirk Gibson's bullpen right about now. That the guy who started Monday is up in the bullpen on Wednesday. Chavez tries to hold the swing. Did he go? He did. Gabe Morales, the rookie third base umpire, calling that a swing. And I think Chavez knew it. So that gets Farnsworth ahead in the count, 1-2. Gerardo Parra, the on deck batter. Prado at second, Campana at first. 1-2 coming to Chavez. Well, he misses well outside. 2-2.
Well, Farnsworth has been in this situation many times over his career.
There was a time when all he tried to do was overpower you.
Yeah, he threw 100 miles an hour. It was a flamethrower.
His command is much better these days than it was early in his career when he had that 99-mile-an-hour gas. Tries to go backdoor and misses, and it's a full count.
Big pitch right here, obviously. Very dangerous hitter in Chavez. He's got pop. Keep the ball away. Let him try to pull the ball in the outside corner.
Chavez 0 for 5 in his career against Farnsworth. And somebody get a ground ball to work with to get through the inning. Three-2.
Got him. It's in there for a call, strike 3. And Chavez certainly did not think so.
Well, I'll tell you what. Oh, you can
Well, I hope you can't read lips.
Oh, that's pretty plain. I won't repeat it.
No, you can't repeat it.
I tell you what, it's a gutty pitch right there. That's a strike.
3-2 slider.
No, change.
Was it a change?
Yes. Or if it's a splitter, whatever he's got as his pitch. That is a gutsy pitch. 3-2. Wow.
Well, Mike DeMuro thought it was a strike, which is all that matters. So Farnsworth gets the second out. And now Scott Rice will come in to face the left-hand hitting Parra. 3-0 Mets in the 8th. We'll be right back. One big out in the 8th inning.
And you can see it's been a struggle. 2 2/3 innings. The 5 hits and the 3 walks are troublesome.
He comes in to face Gerardo Parra with 2 on and 2 out. Parra 1 for 3 today and 2 for 3 in his career against Scott Rice. And he takes the sinker low for ball 1.
Well, this is the issue. Last year, Rice came on the league with a hard sinker, and they were swinging at it. They're laying off this year.
Prado at second, Campana at first with 2 out.
There you go again.
Well, his last outing Sunday, Rice gave up a couple of hits and then walked 2 guys in a row to force in a run in Anaheim in that 14-2 debacle. Here, pitching in a tighter spot. Behind on par at 2-0. And Parra chops one. Murphy comes in to get it. Side retired.
So Farnsworth and Rice stumble a bit, but keep the Diamondbacks off the board in the 8th.
To Citi Field this Friday for Free Shirt Friday when the Mets take on the Braves at 7:10 p.m. All fans in attendance will receive an exclusive New York Mets t-shirt. There's a ground ball back to the pitcher. I'll interrupt this promo. Oh!
Addison Reed throwing it away, and Eric Young is on the move. He's going to take the turn and try to get to third. Goldschmidt's long throw across the diamond, and he's safe. Well, another pitcher who can't throw to a base. Addison Reed airmails one, and Eric Young winds up all the way at third.
Wow. Everything that can go wrong for this team, when they make a mistake, it kills them. And this is also, he just la-di-da'd it. And great hustle by Young. He sniffed out third base from the get-go. He got on his horse.
Goldschmidt made a really good throw.
And he just got ahead of the tag.
So a 3-base error charged to Reed. Infield comes in for Murphy. Did you finish that promo?
I did not finish it.
Would you like to read the last promo?
I don't know. No, we're done. Look at this. La-di-da. Oh, no. I did boo-boo.
So the Mets trying to build on their 3-0 lead. Murphy 1 for 4 today. And Reed comes inside. 1-1. So Addison Reed, the Diamondbacks closer, working in a game where his team is trailing for the second straight day. Worked a 1-2-3 ninth inning yesterday. There have been no leads to protect lately for the Diamondbacks, who've lost 5 in a row and haven't scored a run now in 18 innings.
They're ready to go 1-11 at home if you count the Australia games.
Even without the Australia games, 1-9 here at Chase Field, which would be bad enough.
Yep. Oh, Kurt talking to himself.
Well, he was very upset at that third strike call on Eric Chavez, and you can understand the frustration at this point. Murphy chops one off the pitcher's glove and into center field, and the Mets add a run. Young comes in to score, and it's 4-0 New York. So Murphy has his 5th RBI of the year. And the Mets take advantage of the Reed error.
Good time for Murph now. Nice hitting to try to steal the bag. Got him on the run. Release the hounds.
All we need is a bugler. We could have a fox hunt. David Wright 1 for 4, single to center his last time up, and he pulls that one foul.
New York Met Baseball on SNY is brought to you by Chrysler. Visit your local Chrysler dealer today for great deals on the entire stylish lineup, including the Chrysler 200. Chrysler, imported from Detroit. By the New York Lottery. And by Lexus, introducing a car designed with one purpose in mind: to stand apart. The 2014 Lexus IS. It's your move.
Murphy runs. Montero's throw goes into center field, and Murphy will head for third base. Well, Murph is now swiped 24 in a row without being caught. Found his opportunity and tack on the second error of the inning against the Diamondbacks on Montero's throw.
Hey, this game is very much in the balance. I like it. You got him on the run. Go to the whip. Bring out the cavalry. Run him down.
Something about a cannon. So the infield comes in for David with the 1-1 count. I feel like we're about to embark on a Civil War reenactment.
Wow, this is just really that this ball club is everything they're doing is just blowing up. Valverde
no longer a save situation.
No longer a save. Nope. You're going to have me out there to get some work though. Off day tomorrow.
And David pulls one through the hole, and that'll bring in another run. Murphy trots in to score. Mets taking advantage of the Arizona miscues to build the lead here in the ninth. It's now 5-0.
Well done. Can't make mistakes.
Well, we talked about this last night, Keith. You come in here and you're facing a team that just can't get out of its own way right now, and you have to step on their throat.
Yeah, you do. This is war out here.
You know, it's nice to say we want to win the series, but this is a series after you win 9-0 last night. You want to come out here today and sweep. And the Mets are 3 outs away from doing that.
Absolutely. You got the Braves coming in. Doesn't get any easier.
I mean, there may be a time this year where Arizona is able to get their act together and they're playing better. They come to Citi Field next month. They might be an entirely different team, but right now they're playing horribly.
They certainly are. And this is also a confidence builder to play on the road and get a sweep. Have a 6-3 road trip.
It's funny you say that. As Davis hits one in the air to left. Trumbo in that little piece of sunshine comes back out in the shade and makes the grab for the first out of the inning. Your Honda drive around the majors. The Brewers avoid being swept. Willie Peralta 6 1/3 strong innings as the Brewers beat the Cardinals 5-1. Johnny Cueto was brilliant today. A complete game 3-hitter, 12 strikeouts. He even had a hit as they beat the Pirates. The Reds did 4-0. And the Orioles shut out the punchless Rays 3-0 behind Miguel Gonzalez. The Rays have scored just 14 runs in their last 9 games. And yet they're only a game under 500 because they pitched so well. There's Andrew Brown, who's 2 for 4 today, a single and a double.
And Cueto's he's 0-2, now 1-2. Got his first win of the season. He's really been a hard luck pitcher.
Today he created his own luck. Pitch a shutout, you can't lose.
Well,
you might tie, but you can't
no
lose.
decision. So here the Mets are with 10 double digits in hits again. Another 10-hit day plus for them.
Little flare on the right side. Tough spin for Hill, and has to settle for the out at first. Well, that was a sidewinder, as Keith likes to call it, and Hill got befuddled.
Those are always tough plays, and as an infielder, you get nervous because that ball takes a tricky hop when it's a sidewinder. And it just makes this club in front of the fans who don't understand, it just makes the fans get all over the players. There's some booze sprinkled in there. They've seen enough losing here.
So 2 out right now at second, and Neuenhuis the batter. Kirk 0 for 3 in a sacrifice fly today. I was going to say before, Keith, winning the road trip, that's something the Mets have been used to doing the last few years. It's winning the homestands.
Right.
That's been the problem.
They've got to get over the hump at home.
And they certainly don't have an easy task coming up on this homestand. They've got the Braves, the Cardinals, and then the Marlins.
They got 4 with the Cardinals. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and a Thursday. What do they used to call the old businessman special, business person special? St. Louis had them all the time.
So it's going to be, it's going to be one of those homestands where the Mets hope to bring this momentum home. Neuenhuis slugs one to center. Campana's there, and that retires the side. But the Mets tack on 2 thanks to a couple of Arizona errors. 5-0 as we go to the bottom of the ninth. Friday night, the Mets return home to take on the Braves, and we'll have it for you here on SNY. Our coverage begins Friday night at 6 o'clock with John Neese on the mound against Aaron Harang. Today's AT&T fan photo of the game comes from Michael in his David Wright jersey.
Very nice.
Coming up tonight on Sports Night, Chris Carlin tells us he'll be talking about the Nets heading for the playoffs. Carmelo's possible last game as a Knick, and the look at the Rangers and Flyers. Oh, and Chris Johnson is a Jet, we hear. Go Sports Night tonight at 10:30.
Jets going with the veterans. And there you see Jose Valverde. Had a little tough time of it in California.
Non-safe situation for Valverde as he faces Aaron Hill, who's 0 for 3, and Hill takes ball 1. So Dylan G went 7 scoreless. Farnsworth and Rice were able to get through the 8th. Mets have strung up 18 consecutive scoreless innings. The last time the Diamondbacks scored was in the 8th inning on Monday night when Miguel Montero drove in a run. Hill, Goldschmidt, and Montero here in the 9th. off his foot, a foul ball. 1-1 to Hill.
Well, Hill just looks really defeated, dejected. He's just struggling at the plate, and his body language is just says it all.
Hill has gone 1 for 11 in this series, and to add injury to insult, just banged one off his foot, which never feels good.
They get paid a lot of money.
Still hurts.
He cracks one to deep left field. Back goes Young near the wall, and it's out of here. So Valverde greeted rudely on a home run off the bat of Aaron Hill. And the Diamondbacks break their 18-inning scoreless streak. It's now 5-1 New York.
First home run of the year for Hill.
Well, in his last outing, Valverde gave up a 3-run shot to Raul Ibanez that tied the game in Anaheim. Now he gives up a leadoff home run to Aaron Hill.
Right down the pipe fastball, down in the strike zone.
Now Paul Goldschmidt.
Well, he knows it.
Didn't react quite as violently as he did to the Ibanez home run. Goldschmidt 1 for 3, a long double off the center field wall back in the 7th. Diamondbacks now have 6 hits in the game.
And this one's driven to deep left field. Young takes a look, and that ball is gone. Back-to-back home runs for Hill and Goldschmidt, and now it's 5-2. Third of the year for Goldschmidt, who hit 36 a year ago. And all of a sudden, the long ball is becoming a problem for Valverde.
High fastball or a hanging slider? Nope. Fastball, belt high. Wanted it away. Boy, he just covered it. Didn't have much on. I think that was a splitter. That wasn't much on it. Just laid up there on a tee.
Well, Valverde hadn't allowed a home run in his first 5 outings this year. Now he's allowed 3 home runs to his last 4 batters. Here's Montero. And he takes ball 1. And the Mets will get the bullpen busy behind Valverde. Torres and Daisuke. 1-1 to Montero.
Wow, that pitch wasn't close.
I mean, would you bring Daisuke in to a save situation?
No, it's Torres. Somebody Torres. Hopefully Valverde can pitch through this inning.
Montero 0 for 3 today. Pulls one down to first, and Davis handles it for the first out. So after back-to-back home runs, Valverde registers the first out here in the 9th. Well, I'll tell you what, those 2 errors that the Diamondbacks made in the top of this inning look huge right now.
Yes, they do.
Here's Trumbo, 0 for 3 today, 0 for 10 in this series. With the 2 home runs here in the 9th inning, the Mets have now given up 23 home runs this year, which is the most in the major leagues.
You see, he's getting that splitter. He's dropping down on his release point, Gary, and that's why it's fluttering up there. Throw that splitter, you got to get on top to get it to break down.
Also looks like he's giving it away, isn't he?
Well, if he's changing his arm angle, I just wonder if he's got any discomfort in his shoulder or anything.
There's a fastball strike, 1-2. Well, Valverde is the closer for the Mets right now. Got that role when Bobby Parnell went down for the season with Tommy John surgery. But it doesn't mean it's his forever. Here's the 1-2. Struck him out. Threw the fastball by Trumbo, who goes 0 for 11 in the 3-game series. 2 out and nobody on.
Who was red hot prior to the series.
So the Diamondbacks are down to their final out as the Mets bid for the sweep. And Martin Prado, the final hope for Arizona. He's 2 for 3 today, a single and a double. Valverde in a non-save situation, trying to put on the finishing touches for Dylan G, who would have his first win of the year. G was tremendous today with 7 scoreless innings. And Prado takes ball 1. And Prado hits one up the middle. Tejada can't get to it. And the Diamondbacks are alive in the 9th. Prado's 3rd hit of the afternoon. And now Cliff Pennington will come to bat. Diamondbacks need just one more base runner to get the tying run to the plate.
How critical and crucial were those 2 runs in the 9th, the gift runs?
Well, the other question here is how far do you go with Valverde?
Last man right here. This is his last man. If he doesn't get him out, in comes got a left-hand hitter. That's going to have to be Torres.
Mets have used their only left-hander in the bullpen. Scott Rice worked in the 8th. Pennington takes a fastball strike. Pennington 3 fly balls to left. He's got a chance for the 4 of a kind that Miguel Montero had last night. 4 sevens.
That's right. Need a royal flush to beat that.
The runner goes and it's fouled back, and now the Diamondbacks are down to their last strike.
Actually, there's no such thing as a royal flush, right? It's a straight flush.
Well, a straight flush to the ace is a royal flush.
Right, that's right. I haven't played poker in ages.
Valverde staggering to the finish, trying to get the final out. Oh, and 2 to Pennington. And he just got a piece to foul it off. Mets have a day off tomorrow. They open their homestand against the Braves on Friday night. And trying to come home with a 6-3 road trip. Oh, 2. Sails that splitter up and away. 1-2.
He's having problems with the command of his splitter.
Well, Valverde's a guy who likes to live with his fastball most of the time.
But it's an out pitch, that split finger, when you're throwing that many fastballs.
1-2 to Pennington, and it's lifted to left. 4 sevens for Pennington and a sweep for the Mets. Valverde gives up a couple of home runs in the 9th, but behind 7 scoreless innings from Dylan G, the Mets sweep the series from Arizona and finish off a 6-3 road trip with a 5-2 win.
Well, a lot of positives for the Mets. 10 hits again, double digits. 2 for 5 from Murphy, a stolen base. Young stole 2 bases, 8 and 9. David Wright got his first stolen base. Recker again gets a start. 2 for 4, a double.